Hi, I'm Jen Satellino from the College Place, Oregon. Due to the coronavirus, I'm recording this video to reach students and families who could not attend a spring college night. On this video, we'll be talking about paying for college. While the information in this presentation is geared towards students and families who will be graduating in 2021, this information can be useful to all families, regardless of where you are in your education timeline. We'll cover a lot of information in a short amount of time. Our agenda includes discussing college costs, defining financial aid, talking about different types of financial aid applications, lastly, and most importantly, making sure you know where to turn when you need help or have questions. Colleges are required to estimate an average cost for students. This can be done by adjusting for inflation, by surveying students, by adding up charges, or even by calling around to other colleges. The cost of attendance can vary widely for colleges in the same city. For example, Portland State University, Portland Community College, and University of Portland are all located in Portland, Oregon. However, their budgets for personal expenses vary quite a bit. PSU's personal expense budget is $1,500 for the year. PCC's personal expense budget is $1,854 for the year. University of Portland's expense budget is $912. You can see that in addition to what are common costs, students can also include the cost of a study abroad program or a computer purchase with the permission of the Financial Aid Office. Each college or university must have a net price calculator on their website. The easiest way to find it is to use the search function on each college's site. Before you get started, gather the most recent federal tax return. For most of us, that's the 2019 returns we're just now completing, W-2s, and any savings, investments, or other asset values. It's important to read each question carefully, as the estimated results are only as reliable as the information you provide in the calculator. This is an excellent time to check out the estimated net price of the colleges that you're interested in. Financial aid includes grants, scholarships, work-study, and student loans. Funds can come from a variety of sources, such as the federal or state government, the colleges or universities themselves, community foundations, or private donors. Any type of financial aid can be based on financial need, whether or not it appears that you need the funds to help pay for college, or based on merit, whether or not you fit the description of the type of student a financial aid source wants to help. Federal grants require students to be citizens or eligible non-citizens, and to receive federal grants, students must complete the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, which we'll cover shortly. Federal Pell Grants and Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grants go to the neediest of students based on the information disclosed on the FAFSA form. Each grants are for students who plan to be teachers and who agree to teach in a high-need field at a low-income school that serves low-income students. Iraq and Afghanistan service grants are awarded to students whose parent or guardian served in the U.S. Armed Forces and died as a result of the military service, either in Iraq or Afghanistan, on or after 9/11/2001. Recipients must have been under the age of 24 or enrolled in college at the time of their parents' death. The Oregon Opportunity Grant is a grant awarded to the neediest of Oregonians. Oregon Promise is awarded to students who graduate from an Oregon high school or earn an with at least a 2.5 GPA or who earn a GED. Other requirements include living in Oregon for at least a year before enrolling in community college and beginning at a community college within 6 months of earning your high school diploma or GED. Institutional grants come from the colleges and universities themselves. This is why you will hear that a private college might be more affordable than a public college. Schools will award a certain percentage of tuition back as grants. For some private schools, this percentage is as high as 50%. Institutional scholarships are often available and are usually funded by donors to the college or university. Each college or university has their own criteria and application process for their institutional grants and scholarships. Students, this is an excellent question to ask admissions representatives via email in this time of coronavirus. It shows you're interested in the college and it gets you some valuable information. Scholarships are funds that are given to students because they meet criteria set up by the creators of the scholarship. These criteria vary according to the values of the scholarship donor and providers. We often think of grades in athletics when we think of scholarship criteria, but there are as many criteria as there are donors. For example, one of my colleagues won a scholarship from a quarter horse society because they knew a lot about horses, not because they had great grades or were a fantastic writer. I've listed sources of scholarships in my personal order of preference on this slide. You want to be a big fish in as small of a pond as possible. Therefore, always start with the scholarships in your school and your community. Next, be sure you're applying for scholarships at your intended colleges and universities. In Oregon, you'll also want to apply through the Common Scholarship application administered by OSAC. Lastly, these big national scholarships are generous and usually quite significant. They have much larger applicant pools, but someone has to win them, so it might as well be you. Your high school counselors are your source for local and community scholarships, but be sure to let everyone know that you're looking. Your parent or grandparent might work for a company that offers scholarships to dependents or descendants. It never hurts to ask. You can also use the internet to help you search for scholarships. If your high school subscribes to Naviance or the Oregon Career Information System, you can search for scholarships on those platforms as well. If you opt in when you complete your financial aid application, you might be offered a work-study position at your college or university. Funding for this program comes from the federal government in the form of the Federal Work-Study Program. Colleges and universities often supplement the federal funds with funds of their own, and many have their own work-study programs. Are you surprised that student loans are included as a type of financial aid? Remember, financial aid is money that a student receives to help pay for college expenses from any source other than their family. Student loans, while not anyone's favorite type of financial aid, meet that definition. Students can borrow in their own name through the federal direct subsidized and unsubsidized loan program. There is no credit check and no need for a cosigner. For their freshman year, students are eligible to borrow up to $5,500. If a loan is labeled subsidized, it means that the U.S. Department of Education pays the interest on the loan while you are in school at least half-time during any grace period and during any period of deferment. If a loan is unsubsidized, it means that the interest accrues from the moment the loan funds reach the student's account. A student does not need to make loan payments while they're attending school at least half-time. However, I strongly recommend that students make interest payments on their unsubsidized loans while in school. Parents are also eligible to borrow under the federal loan program. Parents, you can borrow up to the full cost of attendance for a college or university minus the amount of any other financial aid received. Of course, we don't recommend that you borrow that full amount. If you have any questions about how much to borrow, check in with the financial aid office at your student's college or university. Many families save through the 529 college savings programs sponsored in their state, such as the Oregon College Savings Program here in Oregon. Lower income families may be able to participate in a matched savings program called an Individual Development Account, or IDA. Students can also serve their country through AmeriCorps or military service and receive education benefits in return. Some parents are able to transfer benefits from their Chapter 33 post 9/11 GI Bill Education Assistance Program or their AmeriCorps Education Service Award to their children. Other students take college courses part-time and work full or part-time. There are even 9 federally designated work colleges in the U.S. that provide a tuition-free education in exchange for an expectation that students work at the college while attending. Here on the West Coast, Oregon has agreements with other Western states to charge our students 150% of their in-state tuition rather than charging them out-of-state tuition. Go to witchy.edu and search for the Western Undergraduate Exchange to learn more. Whatever works for you and your family is the right way for you to pay for college. Don't compare yourself to others or your family to other families. Do what works for you in your situation. We're going to talk about 3 different types of financial aid applications. FAFSA, or the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, is the application used by U.S. citizens and eligible non-citizens to apply for financial aid. An eligible non-citizen is usually someone with an alien ID number, or what we used to call a green card. Students who are citizens complete the FAFSA regardless of their parents' immigration status. The Oregon Student Aid Application, or ORSA, is a financial aid application for DACA or DREAMer students, for students who have overstayed a visa, and for students who are here on a visa that doesn't allow them to apply for financial aid, such as students waiting an asylum decision. The CSS Profile form is usually limited to colleges with significant institutional funding. The FAFSA opens up on October 1st each year for the next school year. This means that on October 1st, 2020, you can complete the FAFSA for the 2021-22 school year. The first time you fill a FAFSA in for a given year, you'll click on the Start Here button located under the New to FAFSA.gov heading. And yes, you complete a FAFSA every year. FAFSAs are year specific. I recommend that college seniors complete a FAFSA just in case they end up having to take an unexpected class or 2 before they can graduate. So you'll be completing a FAFSA for at least 5 years if you're earning a 4-year degree. Students who are citizens complete the FAFSA regardless of their parents' citizenship status. Students who have DACA status, who are dreamers, who are undocumented, or who have overstayed a visa are not eligible to file FAFSA or receive federal financial aid. The state of Oregon supports all Oregonians who wish to complete an education after high school. So we've developed a special application for students who cannot complete the FAFSA. This application is called the Oregon Student Aid Application, or ORSA. It replaces the FAFSA for Oregonians who can't complete the FAFSA, and it serves as the application for the Oregon Opportunity Grant for non-FAFSA filers. Just like the FAFSA, the ORSA opens up on October 1st. Doesn't look quite as splashy as the FAFSA page, but it asks all of the same questions as the FAFSA. The information is processed and held by Oregon's Office of Student Access and Completion, or OSAC, and is not shared with the federal government. I often get a lot of questions about who is considered to be a parent for purposes of financial aid. The rules for financial aid are very different than the rules for the IRS or the courts. First, we ask, are the student's parents married to each other? If so, the student has 2 financial aid parents and reports information about both parents on the FAFSA or ORSA. If the student's parents aren't married, do they live together? If so, the student has 2 financial aid parents and reports information about both parents on the FAFSA or the ORSA. If the student's parents aren't married and don't live together, which parent did the student live with the most in the last 12 months prior to completing the FAFSA or the ORSA? Okay, please note, this question does not ask who claimed the student on their federal income tax returns. It also does not ask who has primary custody of the student. It does not ask if there is a provision to pay for the student's college expenses in a court document, such as a divorce decree. This question only asks which student or which parent the student lived with the most in the last 12 months. That parent is considered to be the student's financial aid parent. So now that we know who the financial aid parent is, we ask if the student's financial aid parent is currently married or remarried. If not, the student has 1 financial aid parent and reports information about only that parent on the FAFSA or the ORSA. If the financial aid parent is currently married or remarried, the student will report information about that financial aid parent and that parent's current spouse on the financial aid form. So the student will be reporting information about 2 parents. The non-financial aid parent is not included on the FAFSA or the ORSA. Approximately 250 or so colleges, universities, and scholarship programs require students and parents to complete an additional financial aid application called the CSS Profile. The information collected on the profile is used to award non-federal financial aid, usually funds from the colleges or universities themselves. Just like the FAFSA, the CSS Profile opens on October 1st. Schools may require the form for freshmen, for international students, or for all students. Again, this is an excellent question for students to clarify with college admissions counselors from each school they are interested in attending. Or they can go online to collegeboard.org and take a look at the website's participating institution list. We've mentioned before how much your high school faculty and administrators are here to help you succeed. While we're temporarily out of school, be sure to utilize your high school's website to find information specific to your school. You can also ask for help at the colleges and universities you're planning on attending, or the college or university close to you. They like to give you good, solid information that keeps you from making mistakes, no matter where you plan to attend. I'm always happy to lend a hand, no matter where in Oregon you live. And parents, if you've sat through this presentation and are thinking of going to college yourself, I'm here to help you as well. Please feel free to contact me. If you're at home, I'm at home. The easiest way to get me at this time is through my email, which is jsatalino@ecmc.org. But you can always feel free to call me at 971-722-4493 as well. If you have time, please fill in our 1-minute survey. We'll make sure that you have up-to-date and accurate information throughout the college process. If you're not yet a high school senior, you can still sign up. We'll send you information appropriate to where you are in the process. It will be a little information for younger students, and then will become an almost weekly text or email in your senior year. Thank you for watching this video. You can come back and review it as many times as you need, or pause it to get my contact information and the various links off the screen. Stay safe.